Hello and welcome all. I'm Yamini Mishra from Team Adgully, and today we have with us Pulkit Saboo from FloBiz. Hello, Pulkit.
Hi, Yamini. Hi, everyone.
Hi. My first question for you will be: what was the thought behind the concept for Tum Kamal Ho, and what was your target group that you are chasing through the anthem?
Right. So it was the first principle approach that we had, that we want to create something which is totally different, something which none of the brand or any of the institute which has been working for the cause of MSMEs has ever tried. And with that as the approach, we contemplated and thought through a lot of ideas ranging from something very plain like doing a webinar or maybe doing a award ceremony. But then as a team, we felt that all these initiatives are typically very short-lived. They will not have a long-term shelf life and they won't be really memorable. So we wanted to do something which is, very close with the hearts of our customers and directly speak with the language of their hearts. So after a lot of contemplation, suddenly one day this eureka moment came, and then we thought that, hey, let's do an anthem. Let's do something called as an MSME anthem, which no one has ever done. And typically, when the small scale business owners, or rather a lot of business owners, when they travel to their workplaces, you will see that someone traveling from a local train to their office, someone taking a rickshaw to the office, someone driving their own vehicle to the office, they will typically tend to listen to something. These could be a devotional song, these could be a motivational song, these could be a bhajan. And this is the space where we thought we are going to fit in very well. So the number one target was to create something which is memorable, which gets solved by when you create something in the range of an anthem. And the number two target was to create something which gets played repeatedly, which gets communicated repeatedly, and then something which creates a lot of conversations. And that's basically how the idea of doing an MSME anthem came up. The reason we actually came up with the particular title of the track, Tum Kamalo, is because as an institute or as an organization, we always have a very deep-rooted feeling that this set of customers, these set of SMBs who kind of contribute to 30% of the country's GDP, are mostly underplayed in terms of recognition. While there are a lot of government policies, government initiatives happening currently, like the ECLGS scheme or maybe the Make in India initiative by the government, which have been promoting these businessmen, but more often than not, they tend to get forgotten as long lost heroes. And while these are the people who helped us bear the brunt of pandemic, these are the people who kind of kept the economy running on the wheels when the entire nation was on lockdown. But they are very well not often celebrated properly, and that's the reason we wanted to champion the cause. We wanted to celebrate them, and that's how we came up with the title of Tum Kamalo.
Great, really great initiative. And what kind of impact are you expecting from the anthem to have on the MSME market, and what strategies do you have in place going forward for MSMEs?
Sure. So this piece of content is something not we kind of feel that it's a brand awareness campaign or it's not advertisement per se. That was something which was very clear in our mind, that we don't want to use it as an advertising concept, but we wanted it to be a part of their lives. We wanted them to really relish this, enjoy this, talk about it, and even feel motivated at times when they really hear the tune of Tum Kamal Ho. And that's the clear-cut reason why we have decided that we are gonna kind of shift from a advertising approach to more of a collaborative approach. So when you even look at the video, when you hear the song, you won't see that My Bill Book is here really promoting themselves, but it's basically the cause, or it's basically the spirit or resolve of these people, what we are celebrating. In terms of using this anthem to further communicate with our audiences, apart from doing a proper press releases across all the A&M and various other media, Mr. Manoj Vajpayee, who is the brand ambassador for our brand, he would be putting the video from all his social handles. So very soon he's going to tweet and put it on Instagram and various other social channels. So that's going to be the kind of unveil for the anthem. And post that, this anthem would be kind of available on various music streaming applications like Ghana, Wing, Spotify. We will also be using a relatively shorter version of the anthem for creating a caller tune for listeners to use it on their mobile phones.
That's great. It's like you are not confining the anthem to yourself or you just for this campaign. You're just distributing it and putting it up on all the broad aspects.
Of course, I mean, as I, in the starting, I mentioned that we don't want it to be limited to a one-day affair. This is something which has to stay in the memories. This is something which has to be heard time and again. It's like one of those motivational songs that you keep on hearing time and again, and that's the reason we had a proper pre-launch plan in which we did a couple of teaser posts. We have a proper launch plan, and then there will be certain activities, even the post-launch, the anthem that you can see in the coming week.
Okay. So, according to you, what difficulties do these kirana shops and small town enterprises encounter, and how digital platforms like yours, FloBiz, aids them?
So I would like to categorize the problems or the pain points into two buckets. The first being the biggest pain point of being inefficient. And when I say being inefficient, this is arising because of various situations. Since you are using pen and paper or maybe outdated non-technical, non-digitized methods of working your business operations, you probably would be creating invoices on pen and paper, which might lead to errors. You probably would be doing inventory management manually, counting it on your fingers and then noting it out on a paper. You probably would be still collecting payments in cash or maybe by physical means. You probably might be still following up with your prospective payment parties to send you payments in time. So all these instances or all these business operations, which tend to be extremely manual in nature and hence also tend to be error prone, are being totally digitized by MyBillBook. So when we say that we are a platform which is a billing and accounting software, we are not just providing the billing and accounting ease, we are also solving the problems of inventory management. We are also solving the problems of low stock reminders. We are solving the problem of payment collection on time. So everything and anything which used to lead to inefficiency of your business gets solved through MyBillBook. So that's one part, or rather the first biggest pain point that these small scale enterprises face, of being inefficient and then hence losing out on business productivity. The second biggest pain point that this particular segment is facing is the access to formal credit. So in a lot of, or rather most of the instances of these small scale businesses, they mostly will not have a proper banking record. Whenever they approach a formal credit institution to give them a loan, they are mostly, they mostly encounter problems like you don't have a proper CIBIL score, you don't have well maintained transaction statements. So all these problems get reduced when we introduce the concept called as a neobank. So the way FloBiz, which is the umbrella brand for MyBillBook, is positioned is that we are a neobank for SMBs. And when I say neobank, we are basically going to be a digital bank, a virtual bank, which will not have physical locations, but can do all those activities that a bank would be able to do. And when we say that, typically your credit lending, or be it your financing, insurance, transactions, everything, that all could be done through the same platform called as MyBillBook.
So, what further plans does FloBiz have for its SMBs and MSMEs clients? And what plans do you have to entice more clients?
I would like to break that question into two parts. Let's talk about the plans as an org or as a product company, what we have right now. So in the current space, before we totally enter the neo banking space, we are right now leading with our flagship brand, which is MyBillBook, and it is a SaaS, software as a service platform, which is available on Android, on iOS, on desktop, and also on web application. Through MyBillBook, we have been able to cater to almost 65 lakh businesses across the country, with more than 10 lakh businesses using the software on a monthly basis. And the kind of trade volume that gets generated on the application or on the platform is upwards of 12,500 CR on a monthly basis. So we have already seen great adoption of the technology. We have instances of stories coming out and telling us that we were able to save certain time, and we were able to invest this time into growing our business further. And hence there is a clear-cut momentum, or a clear-cut, I could say, euphoria around using the technology per se. Now, onto the second part of how are we gonna, kind of scale up, or rather, how are we gonna continue attracting more customers? We very strongly feel that it's a very big market out there. we count as almost 6.3 crore small scale businesses in India. And even with whatever little we have achieved, we feel that we are still scratching the surface, and there's a huge potential of brands like us, of startups like us, to really contribute to the economy by helping out the small scale businesses grow. So in order to further scale our presence, or in order to further attract more customers, I think product is going to be the first key for us. We will keep on implementing new and new layers into our products. For example, very recently, one of the government norms has got released, which requires a certain sector of the audience to create electronic invoices. So very soon we are going to get into the e-invoicing space as well on the application. And in fact, we've already launched that, and we are about to do a formal communication out in the media about that. And typically in the same way, we're going to build multiple layers onto the product to make it more powerful, more relevant for our audiences.
And what do you think is the scope of SMBs and MSMEs in the economic growth going forward?
So just to give you certain figures onto the contribution of this particular sector, in the current pace, they are already contributing to almost 30% of India's GDP. And in terms of the employment that SMBs generate, it's almost 11 crore people in India are employed under some or the other kind of small scale or medium scale enterprise. Almost 40 to 45% of India's exports are happening through SMBs. And the kind of impact that they already have on economy is quite big, quite huge. And government is also now realizing the same. And there's a clear-cut target or clear-cut wheels in motion from the government side as well. And obviously the startups like us are aiding into the same effect, that we want to grow this 30% contribution even further to, let's say, a 40% contribution. And that will help us solve a very big problem of we being totally Atmanirbhar in true sense. So since these SMBs are homegrown companies from the country itself, the more they produce, the more they manufacture, the more they provide services, and the more they get digitized and expand into bigger businesses, the better would be our own independence on Indian companies.
Thank you so much. It was really nice getting all the insights from you. And yes, that's all. No
Thank you. Thank you.
Anything or any point that you want to add from your end?
I think probably I can spare a couple of minutes to talk about our communication approach per se. And this also happens to be critical because the MSME Anthem happens to be a brand thematic kind of thing that we are doing. So we started our full-fledged brand marketing activities with our first maiden campaign called as Business Ko Le Seriously, which got released in the month of September 2021, where again we had Manoj Vajpayee starting in all the three films. And this was the very first initiative when we started speaking to our customers or to our consumers in a very full-fledged high decibel media manner. From the concept of Business Ko Le Seriously, which basically was talking about these are the pain points of every typical business person. And if you are really serious about growing your business, you need to curb these pain points at the same time itself. And for that, obviously, you have to use certain technological tools, which is My Bill Book. We use that narrative to build on to the second brand campaign that we recently launched, which is called as Business Ka Achha Time Shuru. So Business Ka Achha Time Shuru is again a campaign with 4 films. And now, once we have established the narrative that if you are a business, if you are serious about your business, then you need to adopt technologies like My Bill Book. Once that is done, once you have started using My Bill Book, then automatically the better times for your business start. And that is all what the campaign Business Ka Achha Time Shuru is about. So our latest brand campaign, Business Ka Achha Time Shuru, is basically a celebration of better times, which have happened only because of My Bill Book. And in the midst of all of this, MSME Day, kind of came in, and then we thought that we want to create something which is extremely powerful, so that users can connect directly with us rather than we really reaching out to them. We wanted to create something which is shareable, which has the potential to go viral, and definitely what better than a musical anthem. So the way this entire project has been done is quite fantastic. So, it took us literally 13 days to start from scratch, from the point of writing the lyrics, from the point of getting a singer to sing for us, composing the music, doing the mixing, mastering, shooting in the streets of Bombay and various other cities, and then finally coming up with a full-fledged video. And today we have launched the video, and we are really hopeful that this is going to go a long way from here.
Thank you so much, Pulkit, for having this conversation.
Thank you. In case if you have not seen the video, maybe I can play the video for you. It's a 4-minute video in case if we have time. Ali, do we have time?
Yeah, if Yamini has the time, sure.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let me just try playing it up. Let me know if the sound comes through or not. Can you see my screen, Yamini?
Yes.
Yes.